60 million Americans gathered around their televisions on Thursday nights, and for a decade, that was enough to make one family feel like everyone's family. The Huxtables weren't just characters. They were a promise that warmth, laughter, and safety could live inside a brownstone in Brooklyn, and that the people delivering it would always be there. But promises, like television, have an off switch. And when the credits finally stopped rolling on The Cosby Show, the lives of the people who made it went in directions no writer's room could have scripted. Some carried the weight of fame gracefully. Others were crushed by it quietly. A few were taken far too soon. And one, the man at the very center of it all, became one of the most devastating falls from grace in American entertainment history. This is what happened to the cast of The Cosby Show, then and now, in 2026. Bill Cosby was 47 years old when he first walked onto that set and became Dr. Heathcliff Huxtable, the warm, sweater-wearing obstetrician who made fatherhood look like the most reasonable thing in the world. He appeared in all 202 episodes, and for 8 seasons, that character was inseparable from the man performing him. Born on July 12, 1937, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Cosby's real childhood was nothing like the one he portrayed on screen. His father left early, his mother worked relentlessly, and school represented failure more than promise. He eventually dropped out, joined the Navy, and found in comedy a way to control rooms that had once made him feel powerless. That drive built an extraordinary career. Emmy Awards from I Spy, record-breaking Grammy wins for his stand-up albums, and then The Cosby Show, which didn't merely entertain, but redefined how black family life was portrayed on American television. Yet privately, grief accumulated. The murder of his son Ennis in 1997 hollowed something out of him that the cameras couldn't reach. The later death of his daughter Ensa deepened that wound. And then came the allegations. More than 60 women coming forward to accuse him of sexual assault, a conviction in 2018, imprisonment, and a release in 2021, after the conviction was overturned on procedural grounds. He emerged legally free, but morally transformed in the public consciousness. In 2026, Bill Cosby is 88 years old. He lives in seclusion, legally blind. His estimated net worth of around $400 million tied up in royalties and real estate, a figure that cannot restore what has been lost. Phylicia Rashad was 36 when she became Claire Huxtable, the brilliant attorney and impossibly composed mother, who let one raised eyebrow carry more weight than most actors manage with a monologue. Born on June 19, 1948 in Houston, Texas, Rashad's early life was shaped by her family's relocation to Mexico following her parents' divorce, an attempt to escape racial segregation in the United States. That early displacement, caught between cultures, never fully at home in either, forged the discipline that later defined her. While television brought her into millions of homes, her real artistic identity was always built on stage. A Tony Award for A Raisin in the Sun, a later Obie nomination, and a career that continued expanding long after most actors slow down. In 2026, Phylicia Rashad is 78 years old. She remains active as an actress, director, and mentor, with an estimated net worth of around $25 million, a figure reflecting longevity rather than spectacle. Malcolm-Jamal Warner was 14 when he became Theo Huxtable, the son who struggled in school, talked back, failed, and slowly grew into someone worth watching. Born on August 18, 1970 in Jersey City, New Jersey, Warner was raised primarily by a single mother after his father left early. He grew up under studio lights before he finished growing up at all. But he made the transition from child star to working actor with a quiet consistency that many of his peers never managed. Emmy nominations, music, a Grammy collaboration, and dramatic roles, including a respected turn on The Resident. Then on July 20th, 2025, at just 54 years old, Malcolm-Jamal Warner drowned after being caught in a powerful ocean current while vacationing with his family in Costa Rica. Despite prolonged rescue efforts, he was pronounced dead at the scene. The entertainment world paused. Audiences who had watched him grow up felt the loss personally. His estimated net worth at the time of his death was around $6 million, a career built on longevity rather than excess, and a life cut shorter than anyone deserved. Tempest Bledsoe was 11 when she began playing Vanessa Huxtable, the sharp-tongued middle daughter who was always testing some boundary or another. Born on August 1st, 1973 in Chicago, Illinois, she began working in entertainment at just 4 years old, which meant that by the time most children were learning to ride bicycles, she was already learning her lines. After the show ended, she made a deliberate choice: balance over visibility. She transitioned into hosting, appeared in ensemble television, and avoided the turbulence that claimed so many of her fellow child stars. In 2026, Tempest Bledsoe is 52 years old, active as a television host and philanthropist, with an estimated net worth of around $6 million, built through steady, intentional work. Keshia Pulliam was 5 years old, when she first appeared as Rudy Huxtable, and for 177 episodes, audiences watched her grow up in real time. Born on April 9th, 1979 in Newark, New Jersey, she entered the entertainment industry before she could even form lasting memories of a childhood outside it. As she grew older, she worked deliberately to build an identity beyond the curls and gap-toothed grin the world remembered. Roles on House of Pain and in Tyler Perry's films brought new audiences, but her personal life carried harder chapters. A public marriage to former NFL player Ed Hartwell collapsed amid painful allegations, leading to a custody battle that left deep emotional scars. She later rebuilt, found stability with actor Brad James, and grounded herself in motherhood. In 2026, Keshia Pulliam is 46 years old. Her estimated net worth sits around $6 million, reflecting persistence over flash. Lisa Bonet was 17 when she walked onto the set as Denise Huxtable, free-spirited, stylishly defiant, unapologetically her own category. Born on November 16, 1967 in San Francisco, California, she grew up biracial in a world that wanted to classify her precisely and never could. Acting became refuge long before it became a career. Her boldness in Angel Heart earned her attention and fierce backlash simultaneously. She married, she left, she married again, Lenny Kravitz, then Jason Momoa, navigating intimacy under relentless public observation before ultimately choosing privacy. In 2026, Lisa Bonet is 58 years old, living quietly and largely removed from Hollywood's machinery. Her estimated net worth of around $10 million comes from years of work done on her own terms. Sabrina Beauf, who played eldest daughter Sandra Huxtable, was classically trained at UCLA and the Yale School of Drama, and her proudest work was always on stage with the Shakespeare Theatre Company. Now 67, she lives largely outside the spotlight, focused on interior design and creative consulting. Raven-Symoné, who burst onto the Huxtable porch as tiny Olivia Kendall at just 3 years old, became a cultural institution through That's So Raven, then reclaimed even deeper control as a producer and director with Raven's Home. At 40 in 2026, her estimated net worth of around $40 million reflects not luck, but methodical reinvention. Jeffrey Owens, who played Elvin Thibodeau with earnest warmth, became the subject of a painful viral moment in 2018 when photographs of him working at a grocery store circulated widely, sparking a necessary conversation about dignity, labor, and what Hollywood owes the people who built it. He never disowned the work. At 64, he continues teaching Shakespeare and taking acting work. His estimated net worth around $300,000. A testament to a life spent on craft rather than accumulation. And then there are those who never got the years they deserved. Clarice Taylor, who played grandmother Anna Huxtable with the gravity of lived survival, passed away on May 30th, 2011 at 93, after a career that had stretched across decades of American theater and television. Earle Hyman, who brought elegant, Shakespearean weight to grandfather Russell Huxtable, died on November 17th, 2017, at 91, after a lifetime devoted to classical theater and a deeply private personal life lived with quiet dignity. And Michelle Thomas, who played Theo's girlfriend, Justine, with a tenderness that seemed written into her very posture, died on December 23, 1998, at just 30 years old, after battling a rare form of stomach cancer. She never married. She had plans. And then, suddenly, she didn't. What the Cosby Show left behind is complicated in ways that don't resolve neatly. It gave a generation of viewers something they genuinely needed: a reflection of joy and intelligence and family as sanctuary. What happened to the people who gave them that is a story about time and consequence, and the distance between who we appear to be and who we actually are. The faces you remember from Thursday nights are older now, some are gone, and at least one is irreparably changed. But the laughter they made, the realness Theo showed in failing, the grace Claire carried without effort, the tiny earthquake Rudy brought into every scene, that was real when it happened. And real things, whatever comes after, don't entirely disappear.